All week, I have been receiving your questions about pronunciation, about English, about me. And today, I am going to answer them. Welcome to another episode of Ask ETJ. Hello everybody, it's me, Elliott from ETJ English. Welcome to another British English pronunciation lesson, or should I say welcome to another episode of the ever so famous Ask ETJ, where I answer your questions about me, about pronunciation, and about English in general. And there have been quite a lot of questions this week, very varied. I've had questions about Christmas, as Christmas is approaching. I've had questions about me. So let's just get straight into the first question, which is, Elliott, how do you pronounce this word? And the student then went on to say, it's because I often pronounce it or get confused between this word and this word. Now, I know why you have an issue. It's because you're not pronouncing asked as asked. You're probably pronouncing it as asked. So you're pronouncing the R sound at the beginning as an A, which is okay. It's fine. Okay, that's how Americans would do it, but it's also how many areas of the UK would pronounce this word. Just like the word past. There are many parts of the UK, and of course in the USA, they will pronounce it as A. Past, last, fast. Okay, usually it's past, last, fast, if you're learning the RP accent that I teach. So with this word asked, I'm going to break it into two sections, and it should then make you understand how to pronounce it clearly, but also how to differentiate it from the word axe, which is obviously very, very different. So let's start with that first vowel, R, okay? R. To pronounce this vowel, we need to push the tongue all the way down into the bottom of the mouth and kind of bring it all back slightly. Open the mouth as big as you can. R, R, arse. No, not that word, don't be naughty. The best way to approach the second half of the word would probably be approaching the consonant cluster alone. So the consonant cluster is the ASKETJ. Okay? Skt. Now, I make it sound easy, I know, but unfortunately, it's not as easy as it sounds. A consonant cluster is when we have more than one consonant joined together and we need to pronounce all of them in a succession. We can't kind of break between each one. They have to be pronounced all in a mechanical movement. Now, my first advice for you would be that you definitely need to know how to pronounce each of these consonants, S, S, K, K, and T, T, before you approach them as a cluster. If you can't do that, then you'll need to take individual lessons on each sound. There are lessons covering every sound in British English in my online course. You can join by clicking the link in the description below or going to etjenglish.com. But if you can pronounce all of these consonants, the goal now is to join them all together. Firstly, just practice doing S. You should be able to do that forever. Technically not, but as long as you can. S, okay? That's the easy part. What follows are two very difficult consonants to pronounce with each other. The next sound is a K sound, and the sound after that is a T. So we're going to try and join those two together first. So you start with the K sound, okay? K. Practice with me. K. I'm hoping you can do it. And immediately, when we pronounce a consonant cluster, as soon as we pronounce the first consonant, we have to be ready to immediately get into position for the next sound. In this case, we need to push the tongue up to the top of the mouth, create some pressure, and push the sound out, right? So tongue from the K, K. The tongue then needs to push up to the top of the mouth, press against the alveolar ridge at the top of the mouth, and push the air out. Kt, kt. So let's join the S to this kt that hopefully we can now pronounce. Skt, skt, skt. I know it will make you sound weird, but you just have to imagine that you're producing an S sound. Imagine it's a long line. But somewhere along that line, we're going to break it with a kt sound. Skt. It's difficult. Try and do it slowly. Skt, skt. Practice slowly, get faster, you will get better. It's annoying, it's painful, and after half an hour of practicing, your mouth will hurt. And that's consonant clusters for you. So by the end of this, you should be pronouncing this word as asked. And the other word, axe. We'd never say ox, we say axe. Okay? But remember, you can pronounce asked as asked if you're in certain areas of the UK or if you live in North America. Next word, Elliot, can you pronounce this? Absolutely. Yes, I can. So as you can see, it has a schwa sound in here. Okay? Abs. That's one of the most important parts of the sound to get. Abs. Ooh, loo. Absolute. Now, you don't have to pronounce the T if you don't want to. So the T, quite often when we're talking fast as natives, we will actually just say absolutely. Absolutely. We won't say absolutely. Now, you can pronounce the T if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Absolutely or absolutely. But make sure if you are dropping the T that you don't just say absolutely, because no, that sounds wrong. You have to create a sound in your throat which replaces the T, kind of mock sound we call the glottal T. So instead of being absolutely, we have to do absolutely. Imagine you swallowed the T, it's stuck in your throat, and you need to tighten your throat because you can't contain it, right? That's kind of what it is. Absolutely. Look, tighten everything in your throat. Trap the air in your throat, in your glottis, tighten it to trap the air. Absolutely. Difficult. Again, I have a lesson in my course about the glottal T if you need to learn more about it. Elliot, do you like mince pies? One answer. No. I'm not a mince pie kind of guy. I'm not a Christmas pudding kind of guy. Actually, I don't really like that many flavors of Christmas. I'm not a fan of sultanas or raisins and things like that. I mean, I'll eat them, but I don't particularly like them in a dessert. I'd rather just have a massive chocolate cake and eat it all to myself. Or a trifle. I quite like trifle. If you've never had trifle before, you need to try it. Elliot, what's the most common question that people ask you? Very, very easy answer to this. The most common question I'm ever asked is, Elliot, can I have your WhatsApp number? And the answer every time is yes, but you have to be my student to have my WhatsApp number, okay? I can't give it to everyone. I'm so sorry. I use it for my job to teach my students who pay and buy my course, the people who want to use me as a teacher and are willing to invest in my teaching. So people who purchase my course, 100%, you can have my WhatsApp, my WeChat if you're in China, or if you prefer to use it, and I am absolutely happy to give it to you. It's on the first page when you join the course. Sadly, I won't just give it to anyone. I'm very sorry about that. Elliot, what's the difference between want and won't? I often pronounce them wrong. Okay, so lots of people get confused between the O and the O in want and won't. Let's start with the O sound, which is an extremely important sound to British English. It's in words like not, hot, pot. This sound will make you sound more British. It's an open sound and it's right, you have to put your tongue kind of slide it back into your throat. O, O, O. Round shape with the mouth, round, O. So slightly rounded mouth, open your mouth and slide the tongue back slightly. Not. So let's try it in this word, want. Wa. So go from that small round shape for the W, wa, and open the mouth a bit wider, slide the tongue back, wa, want. Okay, so we have a bit of a consonant cluster there happening after the O sound. And as for the O sound, won't, it's a little bit different because the O sound is two vowels which become one when two become one. The schwa sound, the schwa sound, and oo. O, whoa, whoa, o. Okay, so I start with an look at my mouth, tongue neutral in the middle of the mouth, and then I go to an oo where my tongue lifts up. O, smaller shaped mouth. Won't. So I want, and O, won't. Want, won't, want, won't. Now, the issue is that most of my students who join my course, they actually don't pronounce either of these sounds correctly, and they both just sound like I won't, won't. So the issue is that you need to learn how to pronounce both of those vowels correctly. And maybe the difficulty for some people is pronouncing the vowel after the W. It's quite hard to get to vowels sometimes after the W sound. Elliott, do you have a New Year's resolution? I have quite a few, actually. My main goal, as many of you who've been listening to my podcast will know, is to buy a house next year. I also have many other things I plan on doing, and I'm going to talk about that more personally and in detail in my podcast episodes. So if you do want to find out more about me and my life and things like that, then I talk about that in the podcast. The link's in the description below for that too. But the main goal is to buy a house and also to continue gaining weight, gaining muscle and becoming healthy, which many of you know was my goal at the beginning of last year. I was quite badly underweight last year, and now I'm a very healthy weight. Elliott, I have a problem with pronouncing words with TH at the end of them. Now, I imagine what you mean is words like hundredth, thousandth, 30th, these kinds of words. So firstly, the problem probably is that you have difficulty pronouncing the TH sound in general. To pronounce the TH sound, you have to put your tongue between your teeth and push the air around the tongue through the gaps. Okay? So that's the first thing. Make sure you can pronounce the TH sound. I suggest going to Cambridge Dictionary and listening to how they pronounce it, pressing the replay button and just keep listening to practice. And let's just do one more, which everybody seems to find difficult. I've talked about fifth before, so we're not talking about that. We're talking about this one, eighth. Again, with eighth, there's a T before the TH, but we're not going to pronounce it. So it's just an A, and then cut the A out with tightness in your throat. Eighth, eight, tighten the throat. Okay? Feel that tightness, feel that cut out in the sound. Imagine you've swallowed the T. Eighth, eighth. All right, we'll finish with one final personal question. Elliott, what's your favourite thing about your job? The favourite thing about my job, I have two things. Number one is when you see a change in people's accents and you really, someone's been really struggling with the sound and we've been talking about it for ages on WhatsApp while they're taking my course. And, we really work hard on it. And one day, it's crazy, after so much training, you'll find that with many students, just one day they'll wake up and bang, they pronounce it perfectly. And it just starts to progress, snowball from there. I love seeing that change in people's accents, and mainly the change from when the frown turns upside down and they start smiling and they're happy again. But the other thing I must say that I really love about my job is the conversation. So also when people join my course, as well as having the feedback from me, they also have the opportunity to have conversation with me. This year in particular, if we're summarizing 2019, I've gained probably about 6 or 7 good friends. Maybe their time on the course is finished or they feel like they've completed the course in their own way, but we still stay in touch and we still talk, and we talk about what's going on in their country, in my country, in our lives, and we share information. And it's great. I've gained a lot of friends from all over the world in my job. If you are looking to improve your accent and you want to become a perfect British English pronunciation speaker and you want to remove the current accent you have, the non-native or American sounds, of course you can become my student by joining my course. Click the link in the description below, and I can't wait to give you your first accent evaluation when you join the course. The rest of you, thank you very much for watching this lesson. It's been an absolute pleasure teaching you, and please give me a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. We're nearly at 500,000. Wow. it almost makes me I'm speechless. Nearly 500,000, 500,000, right? Thanks guys, really appreciate you. Speak to you soon. Take care. Cheers. Bye.